Welcome to the Two Fat Guys and Album Podcast, your weekly dive into iconic albums and our search for the modern classics. Today's album isn't just a debut album, it's a raw nerve pressed straight into tape. Built on towering guitar lines, thunderous rhythms, and aching elastic vocals, the album feels both massive and deeply personal. These songs wrestle with isolation, abuse, faith, addiction, and the search for meaning. The album is 10 by the legendary grunge band Pearl Jam. On side 3, we look at one of my contenders for the 2025 Album of the Year, the album Bleeds by the band Wednesday. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more album reviews, in-depth discussions, and music analysis from two fat guys who love talking about music no matter the genre. I am Mike Blackburn. I'll be your host and narrator, and with me, as always, is my good friend, the maestro of music, the siren of sound, the doctor of the diminished chord, Brett Huffness. Welcome, Maestro.
Hello, neighbor.
Yeah. We ready to kind of dive into your segment, your nuggets, your cleanup?
Yeah, we're jumping right into it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, turns out the last podcast, Ziggy Stardust, Bowie, and Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino by the Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah,
right?
Arctic Monkeys, yeah.
Perfect podcast.
Perfect. No cleanup?
No cleanups. I do have nuggets. I do have a word of the day. I know how much you like the word of the day. Wait, no, you know what? I'm going to save the word of the day for next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's more relevant to that album?
It's gonna be better next week.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We'll save the word of the day.
But I have okay, so just nugget. We have a Fat Guy's reaction video out on the internets.
Really?
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah, well, we had a little recording hiatus, and I had some free time on my hands. So
nice.
We had talked last show, I think, about Big Thief and their song Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And so, as part of the show prep, right, we give each other songs to listen to.
Yep.
Sometimes we listen to them before the show. And but this time I did I videoed it. And so you have my first take on the Big Thief reaction to the song Los Angeles.
I'm sure that's fascinating because generally you don't like music the first time you hear it.
This song, spoiler alert, grabbed me instantly. It was. I love this song, and I will say you're entirely true. I completely admit to that. And I do also propose that everybody, if you don't like a song the first time, give it a couple more spins. Let it sink in a little bit because a lot of good songs just need to sink in. But this one, I don't want to ruin go check out the video.
Yeah.
And we talked about it last week also. It's just a little preview, and I did like the song right away.
I agree with the theory because there's, I know you and I have similar tastes in music. So when you talk about a song you really like, and I'm missing it, I tend to go back to it a couple of times to figure out what, I don't kind of poo-poo it the first time. Eventually
you do. If you poo-poo it after 3 listenings, and I would suggest over the course of time, not just 3 in a row, but, because maybe you're crabby in the morning, so, listen to it the next day at night, or listen to it in a different, because they hit, I think the songs hit differently under different circumstances.
Okay.
So anyways, we have a reaction video.
Nice.
Okay, and then, I don't know if this is I'm going to go with, I'm just putting this in the crosstalk, if you don't mind.
It's your show, dude.
But
I'm just here.
No, it's your show. Oh, no, you are the show. Well, I had the good fortune, one way or the other, of going to the Bears-Rams game.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, the Bears lost in overtime. It was quite the game. The national anthem at the beginning was one of the greatest national anthems I have ever seen in my life. And for anybody who didn't see it or missed it, you can find it on YouTube really easily. You can find it on the internet. Jim Cornelison, who's the Blackhawks singer, who's a legit opera singer, Like they got him from the Lyric Opera. I'm pretty sure they hired him away. So he already does one of the best anthems in sports today. But at the Bears-Rams game, the crowd was out of their minds. And so there were some very spontaneous crowd moments, some singing along, some USA chants. The video, you can see like the NFL version of it, because they kind of edited it down and showed some player reactions and everything. Like the players were, you could visually tell.
Well,
that
he
they
has
were,
definitely a unique way of singing the anthem. I mean, it's that booming voice,
Yes.
but it's a lot of different sort of inflection points
Oh,
as
yeah.
well, which leads us to like the best anthems ever.
the best anthems ever.
Yeah,
I've got ideas.
I'd love to hear them.
You just want me to give you my top? I don't have top 5. I give you my top 4 because I'm going to include this Jim Cornelison one in it. So okay, I'm going back a ways. I'm going way back to, and this is in sports history. So if you're planning on pulling out Jimi Hendrix, that's an all-time great anthem also. But I was thinking of it in terms of a sporting event.
So behind the curtain here, the Maestro sent me this list this week and kind of said, hey, these are, and it gave me a little time to go back and ponder and think about some of the anthems myself. So I'm interested in hearing your list.
You got it. So
I have some thoughts.
So Marvin Gaye, in no particular order, just these are spectacular. Marvin Gaye's NBA All-Star Game 1983.
Yeah.
One of the first times, not the first time, obviously, but it was on a huge stage, national TV, and he funkified the national anthem in a way that no one had before.
It's a very early kind of owning the national anthem, so to speak, which became popular and then probably overdone.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
there's there's probably a equally long list of worse national anthems.
Oh, of course there are.
Where somebody, I mean,
Roseanne
we're not.
Barr is the one that jumps out.
I mean, she's not a professional singer, but I think there are probably some versions where people tried to, who are performers, tried to do too much. One of the other garage visitors, or the Fat Cave visitors, has some strong opinions on how the national anthem should be done.
Yes.
But,
he's a big fan, so I'm not going to say he's wrong.
Right. But I get it. When you put too much, there should resemble the anthem.
Yeah, okay. Well, can I ask you if Marvin Gaye's version resembles it enough for your taste?
No, Marvin Gaye's would be on my list.
Okay, great.
It wouldn't be my top one, but it would definitely be on my list.
Well, these are in no particular order.
No, I hear you.
And then I have Whitney Houston's Super Bowl in 1991. And actually, my next two were from 1991, and that's when the Gulf War was happening.
Yeah.
And there was a great patriotic fervor at that time.
Sure.
And so so this Super Bowl anthem I thought was spectacular, probably lip synced and all, but nonetheless, just a great arrangement, very unique, and I pretty sure had like a flyover and all that stuff. So at the time, it was just stirring. It was amazing. Whitney Houston, 1991 Super Bowl.
100%. Yes, that is by far and away the top version of the national anthem.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So,
good.
Yeah.
All right. So we're 2 for 2 so far.
Well, you gave 3.
Okay. My next is Wayne Mesmer, who again is a Blackhawks singer, and in 1991, also the year of the Gulf War.
Yeah.
The Blackhawks hosted the NHL All-Star Game. So this is another All-Star Game performance.
Yep.
And he sang the lights out of this. And again, part of this has to do with fan participation because it was during, it was in 1991. There's a lot of patriotism going on. And the fans cheered crazily throughout the entire anthem. And it really sort of set the tradition at Blackhawks games of cheering during the national anthem.
Yeah.
And again, you can find this on YouTube. It's an incredible anthem.
You can find anything on YouTube at
Well,
this point. Yeah.
maybe. I mean, we're going back a ways.
Yeah.
But this is a landmark, national anthem, in my opinion. You seem skeptical, which surprises me because I thought you would love this national
No, I
anthem.
love. Well, your list made me think.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Because if I think of national anthems, and I went back and kind of flipped through a few, and there's some that like jumped out at me the minute you brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Hudson did one in 2009 that was phenomenal at the Super Bowl. I think the number 2 one, if we had gone Whitney is number 1, Marvin Gaye is probably 3, Chris Stapleton in 2023 is probably 2.
Okay, I'd be honest. So first of all, I really like Chris Stapleton. I think I'd have to go back and listen to that one to comment.
And then you got, I remember Cher doing it in the late 90s.
So are you going with
Super Bowl.
So part of just Super Bowls?
No,
Well,
I'm just saying.
here's
But you asked me about.
for
sports
sure.
ones.
Well, my list definitely has an element of, well, I'd say Marvin Gaye's and Whitney Houston on musical content, and then Jim Cornelison, genius, but also fan response and enthusiasm from the audience definitely impact my list. And I wonder if just yours is, if that's a factor in your list, or if it's just the presentation on its own merits.
The Super Bowl is really hard to get fan participation because it's, especially in the current years, it's mostly corporate attendees.
Well, but
So
everybody,
that's not even
corporations can like.
That's not even a fair way to look at these.
Well, plus they all have their stopwatches on to see if it's going over or under.
Yeah, so I mean that's
all right.
not,
I'm just asking. I'm not
right. So like
anything.
no. But a couple other ones that I would like to mention is Metallica from the 2019 NBA Finals. That's a fantastic version. And then, Garth Brooks did one in the 80s somewhere, when he was at the height of his, probably the early 90s when he was at kind of the height of his power. That was really good. And then one that I'm surprised you didn't bring up because it's everywhere. It was like Bruce Hornsby did one.
Really?
With Bradford Marsalis.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
It was an instrumental. Well, it ends up in Ken Burns's baseball documentary, which is where I thought you might catch it.
I'm sure I've seen it. It just didn't stick.
Yeah, but your list really, Wayne Mesmer kind of jumped out at me from your list. The Corneliuson, however you say that name.
Yes.
He does a very powerful rendition. Is it
every night?
Right, at the Blackhawk games.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And then Wayne Mesmer did it was before him at the Blackhawk games.
Exactly.
So I'm wondering how much this really kind of made me focus on kind of some of your anomalies in music.
Anomalies.
Yes. So every so often you throw out
That's
something.
That's a big word, dude. I should have had that in the
word of the day.
But go on.
But every so often you throw out one that's kind of a left turn, where it's like, this is good, this is good, this is good. And then you just have an anomaly in all your lists.
So you're saying Wayne Mesmer's NHL All-Star Game 1991 anthem is an anomaly?
I do. I don't think it rates anywhere with any, it's not Lady Gaga. It's not, Billy Joel doing it is not Cher.
That's so weird because you usually hate all the big stars.
But they're just phenomenal.
Bonerama did a great national anthem at the Super Bowl in New Orleans. I think two times ago. Whenever it was in New Orleans, I will say this: it's a personal favorite. Okay,
I do, and that's kind of where I was going.
Yeah, I don't think everybody. It doesn't probably have the same global knowledge. Like a lot of people might not know this national anthem. But for those of you who don't, check it out.
So I wonder how much your like life experience and being there kind of affects this. And I've seen that before where it's like, you were at the game, so that you
true.
felt everything in the and it was a phenomenal game. So you have the game response. Wayne Mesmer, we have our love for hockey and the Blackhawks, and just being there, it meant more to you because of who it was and where it was, and what has come after it in kind of that legacy living on.
Right.
In the music, but it's not necessarily anything that ranks with the greatest.
I think I'll take two. So first of all, yes, I think for all of us, music is very personal, and a lot of times, where you were, when you heard it, how you heard it, what was going on around, will whether it's a movie or a TV show that you liked, or a date you were on, or whatever, those things, that music gets embedded with those memories.
Sure.
And it strengthens it. And you could hear a perfectly great song, but perhaps out of context, it just doesn't attach. We just don't have the same attachment.
It's exactly where I was going with some of the anomalies in your ranking system.
Well, I will admit that the Wayne Mesmer All-Star Game is a personal favorite. Again, let's get some comments going. Let's, if you're a listener.
So can I have mine?
Yeah, but can I just say, let's just throw out to the listeners, the audience, and give us your feedback. Like, what are your favorites? Or if you haven't seen the Wayne Mesmer one, I think I encourage you to look it up. But yeah, what are yours?
So I would think that this kind of says a lot about how you sort of review and look at things. I have to say that even during the show and the years of knowing you, I've learned a lot about music, technically, and instruments from our discussions. So you are very mature in your musical knowledge.
Thank you.
But I think there's a kind of that a critical sort of immaturity when it comes to some of your critiques of music.
Immaturity.
That you're caught up by, and it shows. Like, I mean, it's the only way you can explain like having Wayne Mesmer on this list or having Moondance as
because
the
I'm
number
immature.
2 album. Well, critical immaturity. So when you critique something, you
I thought you were going to tell me your list, but go on. This is
fully developed. Well, I've been kind of throwing them out during the course of this whole thing.
Oh, that's what I thought. But then you asked if you could have your own list.
No. I said, can I have my own comment?
Oh,
and
I
this
see
is
what
my
you're saying.
comment.
Okay.
Is that,
So you accuse me of being biased?
No, it's just not
preference?
when you critique something.
Yeah.
Clearly, you have situations where you're unable to separate your emotion from.
Let me put it this way. I will. I'm not saying it's not true what you're saying. I will go so far as right up front tell people that this is my preference and this is what I like and this is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you pretend to be unbiased and that you are creating some genius ranking system or commentary that is completely devoid of personal preference. And so on the one hand, in my immaturity, I realize that I am biased, and I realize that these are personal preferences. And I would go so far back as to say, if you go listen to the second or third show, and I'm sure I've said the words, I like this, you don't have to like it. But I'm sharing this information with you because I like it, and I hope you like it. But the fact that you like it or not matters not to me. It doesn't matter. You are free to like whoever you like. That is why the list we do are completely moronic, because it is my list and nobody else's. Yeah. And I don't and to pretend that anybody's list has any value at all, whether it be Rolling Stone or Pitchfork or God forbid the shows, is silliness because they are all inherently flawed in their own way.
So when we started talking about doing this show,
Yeah.
kind of one of the concepts that really kind of stood out at me is those side 3 albums.
Yeah.
So we were talking, we have a love for classic rock. I have several friends who still listen to the same 8 albums they did,
Yes.
15, 16, 17 years old, right?
And these are great albums. Make no mistake.
No,
We're talking about them
but
because they're great albums.
it shows the critical immaturity, right? It shows that they have not developed beyond these few albums, right? And so what we are doing with the show is trying to help them see other music that maybe is adjacent or just as good, newer music, right?
Well, I agree that there's a lot of terrific new music out there, and we tend to we like indie artists a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And
Sure.
so some of these artists are a bit under the radar.
Yep.
And God knows how anybody gets their music these days. Because again, I think people tend to be on really narrow playlists, whether it's on Spotify or if you listen to
Sure.
the same channel on Sirius XM, you're still, like I have Sirius, but I have probably 10 channels that I flip through. Because even any one of those channels is too narrow for me. So yeah, I think we're just trying to expose people to music that's beyond classic rock. That's moving forward.
So what we're trying to get our audience, some of those diehard classic music fans, to look around.
Yes.
Maybe you're showing some personal growth here yourself.
Thank you.
And you can develop better as a critic, because kind of we have become music critics here doing this podcast. And
it's true.
So I'm just saying, know where your flaws are. That's all I got.
All righty.
And on that happy note, let's drop the needle on side 1.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rock. In the red corner, an album that needs no introduction. Ranked number 160 of all time by Rolling Stone. From the rain-soaked streets of Seattle, Washington, this album fused raw emotion, thunderous guitars, and a voice that defined a generation. Certified 13 times platinum and punching its way to number 2 in the US and number 18 in the UK in 1991. This grunge heavyweight reshaped rock history, written and performed by Eddie Vedder and the mighty Pearl Jam. This is 10. And in the blue corner, 2 fat guys. This is 2 fat guys and an album.
So we've already talked about grunge albums. We've kind of looked at a couple of looked at least one grunge band already.
Who was that?
Didn't we do
That band?
yeah,
Sorry.
Stone Temple Pilots?
No.
Soundgarden?
No.
Somebody?
Nope.
All right.
I mean, we've talked. Grunge is a very influential style of music. I think we've talked about grunge and the influence of grunge. I know who. I know who it is. It's the band that you liked. That I know exactly who it is.
Maybe we should
It's
restart.
It's the one-hit wonder band that was on the album with all the movies. That was on the movie album. I'm just gonna keep babbling on and.
One hit wonder.
Yeah,
Sister
they're kind of
Hazel?
No. We've already established that that's not true. It's unfortunate that you only put the main album on.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's the crud.
All right. When it pops into your head, just shout it out.
It won't because I can't. But it was a side. It was a side 3 though.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry I asked that question.
I am too. All right, so we've already kind of dipped our toe into grunge with somebody during one of these shows some point in time.
We did a third.
On side 3.
Yes.
So this is our first kind of main album, Grunge Band.
Right.
From
1991.
Right, which is a year that I should remember for personal reasons. But okay, so you want to talk about the band?
Well, we're talking about Pearl Jam's the album 10.
Yep.
Yeah, from 1991. The band Pearl Jam, Hall of Famers.
Yeah, sure.
Yep, of course. And we're throwing. I have to just, without diving into the whole genre discussion. Okay. Yes, this is probably considered primarily a grunge album, but really they come off more as a hard rock band, as an alt rock band. I think the reason why I like Pearl Jam better than say Nirvana,
Sure.
if I'm allowed to say that.
It's your show.
Yeah, Nirvana's probably more grunge in that they're darker. They're very dark. I don't think Pearl Jam, although they're from Seattle, really Eddie Vedder was one of the primary writers, the songwriters. He's from the Chicago area and then moved to San Diego and only moved to Seattle when the band was forming.
I don't think Eddie Vedder wrote any songs on this album.
He wrote every song on this. He wrote the lyrics to every song on this album. The music was the other musicians had the music.
I thought Stone Gossart or whatever was the real writer. Okay.
Not to my no, not at all. In fact, the band formed. Eddie Vedder was surfing and he was living with his stepfather in San Diego. Not father-in-law. Okay, you're making stepfather, really. It's all gonna come around later. But he was living in San Diego at the time, and he received tracks from the people that you mentioned, Stone Gossard, and I think Mike McCreary and Jeff Ament. I think were the actual original founders of the band, and they were seeking a lyricist. They were seeking a frontman.
Frontman, yeah.
Yeah, they were seeking a frontman.
Because they were in Gossart and Ament were in Ament,
yeah.
Were in Mother Love Bone together with Andrew Wood as the lead singer.
Right.
When he died,
they needed a new one.
They they didn't have a band anymore, and so they were seeking new.
Right. And so Eddie Vedder got his hands on some of their demos that already existed, but rewrote the lyrics to them, rewrote the songs, and rearranged them and sent them back to them as like an audition, and then went personally to audition with the band. And so the band formed, I think, was only together 5 months before they made this album. So Eddie Vedder is the primary lyricist. Now, I don't have it song by song. I'm not saying these guys didn't have lyrical influence, and their other songs did perhaps have lyrics to them, but he was the creative force behind it. He's way more than just the singer.
So there was a Mother Love Bone was kind of the first time a lot of these guys played together, sans Eddie.
Yes.
And then there was another band that kind of popped up where they were sort of paying tribute to Andrew Wood.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Love Bone is actually they only one album because he died. He overdosed.
Right.
Even before the release of the album. But it's actually a really kind of, there's some good stuff on there.
Okay. I haven't listened to it. Does it sound grungy to you? Does it have that Seattle sound?
It is. If it's anything, it's like hippie grunge.
Okay.
You know, he has a different sort of voice.
Yeah, and grunge. I know we're not diving into it completely, but it's sort of a late '80s style that emerged from Seattle. Yeah. To me, Nirvana is the poster child for it, but also with Soundgarden and
Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, are the big bands.
But I think. Yeah, and then Pearl Jam coming around in 1991. This is their debut album.
I just had the band we did.
And then it went.
Yeah.
I think it's got 2 words to the name of it.
Right. It's my band that I think should be on this list.
Right. You picked the band.
Right. Yeah. I can't.
They're huge. in your mind?
Screaming
Not
Trees.
The Screaming Trees. Not a person. Right. Thank you. We did it.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, very mature, critical pick of yours. Not at all personal or biased in any way.
No, I think they are. I don't know how they missed out on like the fame, the level of these other bands, because they're. I mean, that's a really good album. There's some good songs.
No, it's a great album, and I forget. I forget
so
what
that has
episode
nothing
it
to
is.
do with.
Well, they self-imploded. They were
yeah.
not capable of marketing themselves and sustaining their fame.
Yeah.
So that is a band that imploded and had a great deal of potential.
So I don't know where I would. So Mother Love Bone's a very good band. You have Andrew Wood, passed away, more hippie. I mean, you see a lot when you listen to him sing. You can't help but think of like Aerosmith. Steven Tyler.
Okay.
It's very
big
much,
voice.
Yeah. Big, a lot of range.
All right.
And then after he died, after he overdosed, they put together kind of a tribute band almost,
Yes.
Temple of the Dog.
Yes.
With Andrew Wood's roommate as the lead singer,
Okay.
who happened to be Chris Cornell.
Yeah. That's okay. I was going to say Chris Cornell, but I
Yeah, so
wasn't
that
sure.
was Wood's roommate, and he was actually the lead singer of the Temple of the Dogs,
Right.
With a young man you may have heard of doing backups,
Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, Eddie
Right.
Vedder doing the backup vocals.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not even sure of his backup, but I think their most popular song, Eddie Vedder's the lead vocalist, isn't it?
I disagree with that, but okay.
All right. So Eddie Vedder, the vocalist, the lyricist, plays a little guitar just for fun, but he's not really known for being the guitar player. Does he play?
Local boy. Yeah.
Local boy. That's what I say. Grew up in Evanston.
Yeah.
Moved out to, as I said, San Diego.
His family moved to California. They got divorced.
Yeah.
He stayed with his stepfather
Yes.
so he could finish school.
And then ended up
Dropping out, going back to live with his mom. That didn't work. He went back to California with a roommate and his girlfriend, and
ended up
a few months later got in contact with these two. Who
so he's but still really a Chicago boy. I mean, you see him at the ball games and everything.
Yeah,
so,
he's as big a homer as you.
Sure he is. Yeah. That's fine. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he has musical maturity.
He's a Rolling Stone 105 singer.
Really?
He's got a great voice. He's
got
got the
a
voice that
distinctive
launched
voice.
1,000 ships. He's got his distinctive voice that 1 million people copied.
Oh, it's hysterical watching the YouTube videos of them trying to figure out what he's saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are just great.
Yeah. Well, we went, we saw him in concert at Wrigley Field, which is a home game for him again.
Right.
Which is a great place. If you can see Eddie Vedder at Wrigley Field, you should do it because he's in his because he's in his element, and you can't unless you're like I don't know if even the biggest fans are able to sing along with the songs because. It's just
you'd
like
have to have it
mumbles. Yeah, you'd have to have the lyrics out or just be a massive fan and know all the words because you get to the choruses and people belt out some things, but it's a lot of mumbling.
It's a style.
Yeah. No, but I think he's
I always I like to sing, but I always thought I could never be a singer because I don't know how they remember all the lyrics to all the songs all the time. Like the Mountain Goats.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy.
Well, he has 500-600 songs. So
and how he remembers.
He does occasionally forget on stage and restart songs. He has so many songs. He does. I have seen him on multiple occasions start a song and then go, "Oh wait, that's a different song," and then do it again.
But Eddie gives me hope because I could just get up there and mumble too.
Just mumble your way when you forget the words.
As long as you have the right inflection.
I mean, right. I mean, the real trick is when you forget the words to just take your mic and hold it up for the audience to sing it. That's the pro move.
So Pearl Jam wasn't originally Pearl Jam, were they?
No, they were Mookie Blaylock.
Yeah.
And that's why whose number was 10. And hence the name of the album.
10.
They took
Good one.
Good one.
Yeah, I didn't have that one.
Yep. So Mookie Blaylock, the record company made him change their name for obvious reasons.
Right, so they wouldn't get sued.
Yeah.
And so they came up with Pearl Jam. The original story of how that came about is hysterical, and it just the actual reason is not all that interesting.
Right. Well, they asked him, and he made up something, and then later recanted. But I'll let you go ahead with.
No, his the story he made up was that his great grandmother's name was Pearl, and she married a Native American who made peyote lace jam. Mm-hmm. So it was his grandmother's name and jam.
Right.
And that's how it came up with Pearl Jam.
But the true story that he later said.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know it? Well, his grandmother actually is named Pearl.
Correct.
And Jam, now I'm hoping I wrote this down because I don't remember. But they went to see a band.
Neil Young.
Oh, it was Neil Young. Perfect.
Yeah.
And Neil Young, and they were jamming on stage, and they pulled Jam from Neil Young jamming.
Yeah.
Neil Young, godfather of grunge, right?
Right, and a huge hero of Pearl Jam.
Yes.
Yeah, didn't they back him up for some tour?
I think so.
Yeah.
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 So you've got Eddie Vedder. Michael McCreary is the lead guitarist. Criminally unranked, in my opinion. I think in the pantheon of rock and roll guitar, he's as good as anybody.
Yeah.
He can rip off a guitar solo like nobody's business.
Can't argue with you.
And I think he deserves way more attention than he gets. And then you've got Jeff Ament and Stone Gossard. Jeff Ament, the bassist, Stone Gossard, rhythm guitar, and Dave Cruson on drums. He replaced the drummer, I think, right at the last minute to become Pearl Jam's drummer. They had a different guy right before they did this album.
For a remarkably stable band, the drummer wasn't part of that.
Right.
I mean,
they've had a couple.
Yeah.
But they are, like you said, pretty stable. And if you go see Pearl Jam now, you're going to see, I think, this lineup, maybe without Cruson. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, they had a drummer who just retired, as I recall.
Right.
That was like their tour drummer anyways. I don't know if he played on the albums.
Okay.
I'd have to look. So give me your take on Pearl Jam. Where do you rank them on the pantheon? What?
Well, I like Pearl Jam a lot, and I'm not a grunge purist. So I know people who are grunge purists. I'll get in this conversation with them, and the people that I know will tend to poo-poo them. But I don't. I think they're really great, and I'm a Pearl Jam fan. I don't have all their albums or anything like that, but I like them a lot.
I don't think anybody has all their albums.
Yeah, but I thoroughly enjoyed seeing them live. I think Eddie Vedder's great. I think, as I said, Michael McCreary's great, and I think they're a landmark band in the genre. They're one of the great rock bands of all time, and probably one of the great American rock bands of all time, since you asked. I mean, I don't want to bring up a whole nother thing, but I'm just gonna nominate them for the list without going down that rabbit hole.
No, that's fine, and I would agree with that. So the most interesting thing to me is and I loved going to see them. Mm-hmm. You know, you knew 99% of what they played.
Right. They could do a 2-3 hour concert, and you knew virtually every song.
Virtually everything. They throw in a few covers here and there, which
I like.
Which is usually a nod to some band or somebody that they respect. And so I think all that's great. But as far as a creative band goes, they peaked here, and they just went steadily kind of down.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
Just the album sales. This is their top selling album. The second one was their next top selling. The third one was third selling. You know, so you go like 87 times platinum down to the last 4 albums that had no rating whatsoever.
Yeah, I was going to say 13 times platinum. It is pretty
just
hard
a linear line.
Sell another 13 times platinum album. And it is considered one of the great debut albums of all time.
No, I won't argue with you.
Yeah. So I don't I don't know. I'm not again. I don't consider myself a big enough fan to follow their career arc or anything. I don't think
it's not an arc. It's a straight line.
I don't think
it's a straight line to irrelevance.
I don't think they have a lemonade stand going or anything to pay the bills. I think they're
you don't have to feel
just,
sorry for them. The 3 albums pretty much pay for everything.
Yeah,
but,
so I think they're fine. And who knows? Maybe they.
I also find it more interesting. I find that fascinating, and it's no real criticism of anything. It's just that their album sales is a linear line from their debut to the current one.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Can I say
they're still
I do,
billionaires?
Can I tell you I like the new album quite a bit? Do you have the name of it in front of you? I don't have it in front of me.
Somebody bought it.
So I apologize. I don't have the name or the song that came off of it off the top of my head. But I remember Black Hole Sun came out a while ago. That was a song by them that's not that old, I think. Am I wrong about that, or is that it's like an old song
by somebody else?
Is it? Oh, oops. Is that Soundgarden?
Yeah.
Well, never mind then.
Yeah.
Cancel that. Cut that out.
Linkin Park.
But their most recent album, before we went to see the concert, I listened to the album because they did a number of songs from that album at the concert, and I wanted to be familiar with it. And I really do like their most recent album, which I'm going to assume is from 23 or 24, based on the shirt saying 2024. Yeah. So I still, whether it sold a bazillion copies or not, I do like the album.
All right. Well, we're here to talk about 10, so let's run through them.
Okay.
Fascinated your thoughts here.
Well, I'm just going to say, like, right up front, the overall theme of the album, with, Eddie Vedder said this is sort of how he was feeling in the moment. And I alluded to sort of the dark themes of grunge. And this definitely has dark themes in it. I'm not going to pretend they don't. But for him, he felt like these were cathartic moments. And for him, it was a question of addressing pain and addressing this sort of whatever, these dark topics, to make him to work through them on an emotional level. And so he has said that about this. And I think the album in general has turned out to be sort of uplifting. I'm just going to Alive would be the song in particular. That
I would say I would agree with that. I don't think this album's uplifting at all. But Alive, the meaning of Alive got changed by the fans. Eddie Vedder says
he
that.
acknowledged that himself. One. But I think the whole album, I just
Black
think,
Jeremy, come on.
I think, okay,
Jeremy is a kid shooting himself in class.
I understand that. In his own words, it helped him work through dark times and troubled times. And I think when you go to a concert and you see 30,000 people singing along with Jeremy, it's a fairly joyous occasion despite the theme of the song. And I think it's pretty hard to deny. So there is a hidden mini opera in here. There's a mother-son mini opera. I don't know if that's something. In Alive is part 1 of that mini opera where he finds out that his father is not his real father, the person that has been
which is very much almost the truth.
Well, that part of it is the truth. Yeah. So that is the revealing part of the song. That is the autobiographical part of the song. The second part of the song, turning into a murderer in like going off the deep end, is not true.
Yeah.
So, and again, this is like, you find out this news, this painful news, and it could have gone both ways. It could have gone either way. You can recover from this terrible news, or it could break you. And that's where the album does have a certain positivity to it in general. Now, in this song, and in this opera, Once, by the way, being the opening track, being part 2 of the Mother-Son mini opera, is actually where he kills a hitchhiker, which is a strange opening track.
Yeah.
It's a really great opening track, but boy, they just jump right into it.
Well, and it's one of the songs on the album that's, I mean, to me, this is, themes aside, musically, it's more of a throwback to the 70s rock than it is a grunge.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. For sure it is. There's a lot of this hard rock, alt rock sound to it. It's drawn comparisons to Zeppelin and Hendrix more so than, say, Nirvana.
Yeah,
It's got these big anthems. These are like rock anthems with big guitar solos that play stadiums really well.
I don't think Once is one of those, but it's an okay song.
It's fine. It's not my favorite song on the album.
You know, Even Flow, the second song, is
Great
more
song.
of the grunge. I mean, this is more grunge. This is the grunge anthem, isn't it? You know.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see
with
them
great kind of bluesy guitar thrown in.
Yeah. So there were 3 semi-singles on this album: Even Flow, Alive, and Jeremy. Although they were released as singles in the UK. So Even Flow charted at 27 in the UK. Alive charted at 16 in the UK. By the way, Alive is a Rolling Stone 416th top song. And then Jeremy is the only one that appeared on a U.S. chart at 79. And again, it was sort of this, you know, when we talked about the other band that you liked that was sort of somewhat that didn't hit it big.
Screaming Trees.
The Screaming Trees. You know, even Pearl Jam, like they didn't release singles. They wanted to be an album rock band. They saw themselves, I guess, as artists.
Yeah, they didn't want to do music videos.
Although the Jeremy music video is shocking. Like you could not make that video today, I don't think.
No.
It's a very powerful video. So,
well, Even Flow, I think, is the best song on this album. I think it's.
I like Even Flow a lot. It's definitely a favorite.
I think it's got to be one of the crown jewel of their their grunge catalog. Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think they have enough more than those great songs, but this one, a commentary on homelessness. Do you know what Even Flow means?
Do enlighten me.
It's you know, it's, again, we sing along. So it's about a homeless person who may or may not have mental illness. Although the song is very, I guess, understanding of homeless people. It's not accusatory or anything, but it does have this. So Even Flow references how he has thoughts constantly going through his mind, like an even flow of thoughts going through. So that's the title. The band did not like the recording of the song, and but they had to go with it. So the Best Of album actually has a different recording of this, and the Best Of version is on fire. It sounds like it's almost recorded live. It's got a lot more energy, so it's even better than the album cut. Yeah, put it that way. And then the third one we've talked about, Alive, I think quite a bit.
My next favorite on this album.
Yeah, and again, not quite as upbeat as people think it is. It was intended as an ironic statement, like, well, all this bad stuff has happened to you, but at least you're alive. And that was sort of his response to it. You know, it's like,
it's overcoming a lot.
Yeah. But in a negative way. His connotation was negative.
Sure.
That it was meant ironically, like, oh well, thank God I'm still alive.
Correct. Because you know his biological father, he found out was died, and he really didn't get to form a relationship with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it could go even beyond that to other life situations. But as you said, he changed his interpretation of the song based on how the fans react to it in concert.
Right. Yeah.
So it lost its irony. Okay, Why Go? Fourth song, big hard rocker. Not, you know, it's a good song. Yeah. I like Black a lot.
Oh yeah, Black's great.
Okay, so Black's a favorite. Jeremy's a favorite.
Jeremy is phenomenal. It's a horrible topic or whatever, but was very timely, and and it's good mental health lesson as well.
Well, it's mental health lesson. It's also commentary on bullying and all that stuff that can happen. It's good to know that since 1991 we fixed all that. But at any rate, it's not just about the action, but it's about what led up to it and the emotional effects.
Sure.
And so it does have deeper meanings.
Jeremy spoke in class today.
Yes.
Yeah.
After that, I don't know how you feel about it. The side 2, is this a side 1 only album for you?
Yeah. So to run through them really quick, my opinion here. You can comment if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Oceans is horrible.
Okay.
It's just, and they play it in concert periodically.
Right. It's a very simple song.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Porch is 8. It's grungy.
Yeah, I don't have anything. Porches.
There's some good guitar stuff in there, but
right.
Garden, I don't even know.
Garden's a pretty good song.
Nope.
Really?
Nope. Just a nope.
Interesting.
The only one I really like is the 10th song is Deep. I think there's some fascinating things going on in here. I think there's some, there's a good little instrumental bit.
Yes.
But yeah, so I like that one.
I like Deep.
That's a top 5 on this album.
Okay.
Song for me. Yeah, and then
I like Release. Release would sneak into the top 5 for me, and then
if it was on a Van Halen album, sure.
What?
It just sound anything like it sounds more like a Van Halen song.
Well, it's the catharsis of everything that came before it, really. So
I guess.
Musically you can, I suppose, argue that it doesn't fit, but thematically it does.
Yeah.
So speaking of songs that didn't fit, there's actually 2 tracks that aren't on this album that were released as B-sides. Footsteps was the B-side of Jeremy, and that's the part 3 of the Mother-Son mini opera. And that one, I think that song has the original drummer in it, because it was part of the reason why I think it didn't appear on this record is it was just considered a demo at the time. And they didn't complete it, but it's strange that they put it kind of should have been on the album. I feel like they should have done the song.
They definitely have room, but I could have told them a few suggestions to take out.
I agree.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you on that. Why this? There are songs that could have come out.
Yeah.
And then Yellow Ledbetter, which is one of their great songs, was released as a B-side also, but it wasn't on the album because it wasn't done at the time that the album was released. So Eddie hadn't finished the lyrics to it yet. But that is a song that came out at exactly the same time at this album. That, man, they should have just waited a little bit, and because
great, is much better than some of the stuff that's on here.
Yeah, definitely. So Yellow Ledbetter is should have been on this album.
So Landmark, perfect album.
Well, I think we've already talked. Not a perfect album. Yeah. It has some weakness on the second side. Porch is my total skip. Ocean's probably a skip for me. Garden, Deep, and Release are fine. I don't dislike them. They're likes. I just put them down as likes. I do think it's a landmark album, by a Hall of Fame band. It's their biggest selling album. It to me created a different track for grunge to go down, other than whiny suburban sounding music, that I think probably unfairly gets trapped in the grunge category.
Only Nirvana could possibly fall into that category, and that would.
But I feel like they define the genre more than anybody. It's
I don't know, Soundgarden and I don't think that's.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I guess you can just say grunge, not grunge, because if Nirvana is the poster child for grunge, then these guys aren't really that. Just because they came out of Seattle makes them
Stone
grunge.
Temple Pilot, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and Nirvana make up the triangle.
I thought you were going to say the Mount Rushmore.
Well, I mean, that's the box. Those are the four kind of corners, the four pillars of grunge. And then, other bands are a little more over this side.
Sure.
If you were going to do one of the...
For those who are listening, he just waved his hand in a circle.
Well,
I
was trying to think of what
that meant.
I can only think of the Venturi, but when they you have interlooping circles.
Oh, a Venn diagram?
Venn diagram, thank you. so these would be the four circles of the Venn diagram that make up grunge.
Okay.
And other bands kind of touch on pieces of it, but
I see.
I don't think you can say you seem to have Nirvana just as like stuck in your head as what the influence
Nirvana,
of that is.
to me, they're just, I feel like that's, I don't know. I don't, and living at this time and going through this time period,
There's
and
different
again,
types-
not giving, like when grunge came out as a thing, it didn't strike me in the way that it did a lot of people of being just revolutionary, and I guess it was in that it sort of took music in a different direction from being like hair bands and being.
So it re-energized. I don't know why you struggle with grasping this, because grunge really re-energized rock, hard rock, where it kind of came all those things.
Okay.
So you had kind of that post-punk movement and the hair band going on, and now here comes, hard again.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the stuff, the throwbacks to the Who and
Sure.
and Zeppelin and everybody else, and so it kind of brought that back.
So this was a moving forward in music, is what you're saying.
Well, kind of pulling from behind. It bypassed all the hair bands and the other stuff to be more of that hard rock again.
Yeah. And for me,
and
at
I'm
the
not sure
time-
why that
well,
escapes you, and because it's
it
music
just-
you like.
It is music I like. I don't dislike it, but I'm not even. I see what you're saying. I totally get it. At the time, you're talking about the '90s, though. I did like '90 alternative.
Sure,
what you would
there's-
consider '90 alternative rock, and so to me, Pearl Jam fits into that box and not the Nirvana box. But it's just me. Like you said, this is my immature, critical voice speaking.
Correct, yes.
And it's just my personal reaction to it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to,
Well, and
I'm not going to knock down any windmills over this.
For somebody who is as big a Neil Young fan as you
I
are.
love Neil Young.
We saw him.
Yeah. No, Neil Young is the
and
guy.
this is kind of, they were a throwback to Neil Young and actually pulled Neil Young back into the mainstream.
All right.
And you'd think you'd celebrate that instead of being so hung up on Nirvana.
Okay, I'm not sure I see the.
Should get some Nirvana counsel.
I'm not sure
counseling.
I see
Speaking
the
of counseling,
logic
let's leave this
behind
here
that
and we
last
have a
one.
live read.
Two Fat Guys in an Album is sponsored by Deeper Connections Counseling, helping people connect to themselves, the people they love, and the world around them through individual and couples therapy for Illinois residents, both in person and online. More information at dcctherapy.com.
Sadly, again, talking about some bands and some history in music, we run across, drug overdoses and suicides once again come up as topics on the show. And those are just horrific things that happen for horrific reasons. And there may be, a better way to go about that, or I'm sure there is. And, if you're struggling with something, whether it be an addiction or some mental health problems that kind of get you there, go find somebody to talk to, seek some help. You got some struggling with some issues or just need somebody to talk to, Deeper Connections Counseling are some wonderful people if you're in Illinois. If you're not in Illinois, if you're other parts of this country or other parts of the world, find somebody locally to talk to. You're worth it. Your relationships are worth it. The people you love are worth it. Get some help. And with that, we got a couple other announcements.
Hey, Two Fat Guys and an Album fans. This is Diane Blackburn, realtor with Baird & Warner and proud sponsor of this podcast. I pride myself in being committed to serve as a trusted real estate advisor for all my clients. Whether you're looking to sell, buy, rent, or lease, feel free to reach out and let's chat about how we can work together to make it happen. If you're watching, scan the QR code for my website or give me a call at 630-638-1999. See you on the flip side.
Are you someone who needs help with their Instagram or TikTok? Well, you're in luck. LR Media is here to help. Email me at laurarose2003@aol.com to get started. Let's make your social media shine.
Welcome to side 2, our What's Going On kind of side, where we talk about some things, some music we shared, some things we're listening to, some shows we're going to.
Yeah, I haven't been any shows, but I've been listening to some stuff. Flea, the trumpet player from Jane's Addiction, Nothing Shocking, has a new album coming out.
What's the name?
The name of the artist?
Yeah.
Flea. The trumpet player from Jane's Addiction, Nothing Shocking.
Not the bass player from the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
He does that too. It's kind of a side project, I think, for him. Yes, yeah, the same guy. Same guy.
The bass player from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, you're titling as a trumpet player from some other band.
He's a trumpet player on Jane's Addiction's album, Nothing Shocking. So he has a new album coming out.
So Flea, the bass player from Red Hot Chili Peppers, has an album coming out.
Yeah, it's called Honora, and he's playing trumpet on it. It's a jazz album, and he's playing jazz and he's playing bass and trumpet on it.
Sting doing the vocals?
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice. So the album's going to drop in March. He's got 2 songs already, that are pre-released.
Mm-hmm.
One of the songs is called Plea. Rhymes with Flea.
Flea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I've listened to him. They're both good. He's coming to Thalia Hall in May in this iteration, playing.
Is he going to keep his clothes on?
Probably not.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just a new. He's just got a new trumpet/bass album in a jazz style coming out that you might like to listen to. You make these weird jazz comments, and you like jazz, and I think it's misleading and immature. And I think you should embrace your jazz. Your love of jazz that I know you have, instead of just throwing it up as some sort of.
All I'm saying, well, so I do like jazz, and I know jazz when I hear it, and I called it out, and I'm mature enough critically to call a jazz album a jazz album.
Okay. Well,
and I wasn't allowed to have an album on this show because it was a jazz album.
What album was that? That's not true. That's a lie. You can pick a jazz album. What jazz album would you like to do?
Coltrane.
Kind of Blue?
No. Yeah.
No, that's Miles Davis.
Yeah,
Love Supreme.
Love Supreme.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's on. I'm on record. If you would like to do Coltrane Love Supreme, I'm happy to do it.
Listen to episode 2.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So I thought you'd like to know that. And I think it's worth checking out for everybody, actually. It's a very interesting. The 2 songs that are pre-released, I think, are really cool and very interesting. And
yep. Okay.
What?
Nothing. It was just. I'm still shocked that you would call Flea like a trumpet player from some other band when he's clearly the
trumpet player from Jane's
He's like
Addiction.
in the Hall of Fame as being the bass player for the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Trumpet was his first instrument. He's primarily a trumpet player. And he is playing trumpet on this album.
Yeah, all right.
So can I peek ahead to... I don't know. I'm going to go down just some crazy rabbit hole here. Because I know... what's the the next album that we're doing, the third side of this?
Bleeds by Wednesday.
Right. And didn't you say... You told me that it's sort of country blah, blah, blah. You said country blah, blah, blah stuff. How would you So if you would just characterize that for me again.
Well, it's southern rock.
Yes.
There's definitely country influences because it's southern rock, but it also has a real kind of harder shoegazer kind of vibe to it.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, the reason I bring it up, and I feel like it's analogous in some way is Jeff Tweedy has a song called of Wilco.
Yep.
Called Lou Reed Was My Babysitter, and it's been out for a little bit. It's from 2025, but for some reason it just caught my attention extra this week, and I was listening to it, and there's just a couple thoughts that run through my mind on it.
Okay.
So first of all, I like the song a lot. Number one, check out the song. It's a cool song.
I did.
Okay. Number two, we talk about copycat a lot. So this is clearly an homage to Lou Reed.
Yes.
Clearly.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this song, because Jeff Tweedy is so distinct in his own style, although a clear homage, does not sound like a copycat song to me, and I wonder what you think about that.
Yeah, it's Jeff Tweedy doing Lou Reed. I did not care for the song. I listened to it twice, so I haven't had the third time.
No, it's all right. I mean, it's a pretty... I think it's the kind of song, and if you like it or don't, it's fine.
Yeah, but it's one of those where, famous guy, he can do what he wants on his albums.
Mm-hmm.
I actually listened to... I wasn't familiar with the album, so I listened to some stuff around it to see if it was all this, if it was Bruce Hornsby going off the deep end again. But it wasn't. He was doing some... he was doing very Jeff Tweedy type of things throughout the rest of it. It was just this one kind of weird song, which is his little tip of the hat to Lou Reed. So be it.
Okay.
Not my thing.
All right. And then I bring it up also. The reason why I asked you about the upcoming album that we'll talk about in just a few minutes is, does this song also have that country shoegazer sound to it that you speak of?
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Or put it this way, if you don't want to look at it this like Jeff Tweedy in general or Wilco in general.
Yeah. So I think Wilco is at least alt country adjacent.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they'd fall at all into that category, but if you're doing your Venn diagram, they're out there.
And
somewhere.
I'm asking the genie of genre here.
Yeah.
Clearly.
No, I don't think. I think Wednesday has much more country sound to it. You can see where country folk might like it. Wilco is more of alt folk or something.
Okay.
More of the...
Yeah, I know we don't have to go 100% down that rabbit hole right now. I was just curious.
College band folk or something,
Okay. Just wanted to get your these are thoughts that I had as I was listening to this song, and I just wanted to get your opinions on them.
Just trying to raise your maturity.
You are the genie of genre.
Yeah.
And then I sent you two recently because apparently you claim to like country music, but only when you pick it. So I sent you two people that I believe are progressive country, alt country people.
Yes.
Okay. And I will put them in, although they sound very different, they are not mainstream Nashville bro country.
Yeah.
All right. And they are quite on the outside, both of them.
Okay.
And they're both very successful, but outside of that community. The first is Zach Bryan, who I mentioned had sold out the Big House in Michigan earlier, which is 100,000 plus people. So he has an album out new called With Heaven on Top. I like it a great deal. He's a very introspective, quiet singer-songwriter. Most of his stuff is just vocal, guitar, and definitely country. Like there's no, I'm not going to argue anything beyond that, other than the content of his music is very thoughtful and very introspective. And
as opposed to all the other country music?
Yes, actually.
All right, go on.
Yes. Are you going to make me say that out loud?
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely what was implied.
That's true. Well, I think it's factual. I don't even think I have to imply it.
Okay.
I didn't make you listen to it because it has 25 songs on the album. But you'll be pleased to know he did 2 versions of it, and so you could get like the bonus disc where he did the same songs again acoustic. So if you like your Zach Bryan, you get the acoustic version, and there are 50 songs on it, and it costs you the same no matter what. You could get the whether you listen to 25 or 50.
Something for all of our fans to run out and do. Go on.
And then Tyler Childers, who's going to be playing Wrigley Field, that you have vetoed as a Fat Guy concert, I believe. Even though they're playing with Wednesday. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. Has a 2025 album, fairly recent, also called Snipe Hunter. And I sent that one to you also a while back.
Yeah.
This, again, very progressive and very thoughtful. One of the songs on here is called the Tirtha Yatru. And it's really fascinating to hear this self-admitted country boy, like whatever derogatory term that you might want to throw out there that I'm not going to say, but he will admit to being a stereotypical country person.
Sure.
Okay. But he's also very interesting musically and lyrically. He looks beyond. He's got very smart stuff. And this particular song is about him going to India and studying the Indian religion, Hinduism. Yes. And really talks about how I'm this country guy and born, in the Bible Belt and all this stuff, and drawing comparisons between the religions in some way, and just it's a very thoughtful song, and it's a very progressive song.
What is the song and the album again?
The song is called Tirtha Yatru, and the album is Snipe Hunter from 2025. And just to back up to his previous album, last thing I have is he has an album called Can I Take My Hounds to Heaven? Really sweet title, from 2022. And on that album, he made 3 versions, much like Zach Bryan. He has his normal, like acoustic set of songs. I think there's 12 songs on the album, ish, a normal amount of songs. And so he has the acoustic versions of them, which he calls the Hallelujah versions, and then he has the Jubilee versions that are sort of your normal produced. There's a bit of like tongue-in-cheek to this, okay? That are sort of have regular studio production to them. And then they have the joyful versions, which are sort of modern electronic music that only hint at the various songs. They might pull out different things of it, but it's electronic music. So he's very interesting. I intend to see him. I haven't bought my tickets yet, but I will be at Wrigley Field if all hopes, fingers crossed, to see Tyler Childers and Wednesday. And I'm looking forward to that show. I'm sure.
Welcome to the country version of our
See how
show.
You do that? Just the same exact. See how you do that. And yet, who are we going to talk about next? A country group.
A shoegazer.
A country group.
Just like you
trash
Classic
jazz, even though you like it. You do the same thing
I've
with
never
country.
trashed jazz. I've never ever
I think
trashed
every
jazz.
time I bring it up, you scoff at
I
it.
admit when an album is a jazz album. That is the only way jazz has ever been brought up in this conversation.
Dream of the Blue Turtles is not a
your
jazz.
refusal
If you're
to call
trying
that.
to say that, you're wrong. That's all I have for what's going on.
All right. Maestro's losing it this week. All right. So we got the Maestro of country. Yeah. All right.
Good thing, because we're talking about a country album next.
We're going to flip this over one more time, and we got a couple of messages.
Two Fat Guys and an Album is sponsored by MKE Video. From podcasts to training videos, we're the best in the Midwest. To learn more, email Elliot at mkevideo.com.
Side 3. This is sort of our accidental journey over the next few weeks into our favorite albums of 2025.
Yeah.
So we're going to do Wednesday this week, and I think we're doing the Bleeds next. Or
no, this is the Bleeds.
Yes, we're
the
doing
Beths,
the Beths next
Straight
week.
Line Was
Right.
a Lie, both from 2025. Each of them appearing on our Best of 2025 list from the previous episode.
Honestly, I think these two are going to be battling 1 and 2 for.
They're both terrific albums.
Yeah, for my favorite album of 2025. So today is the Bleeds. A Bleeds album by the band Wednesday. It's their 6th studio album.
Mm-hmm.
It is, to me, just a fascinating mix of a bunch of different, genres kind of thrown into a blender and kind of seeing what comes out.
Right.
There's definitely some classic rock vibe.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely southern rock. I mean, if anything, they're a southern rock band. There's certainly country influence.
Oh, okay. So I heard the C word.
Yeah.
All right.
And then,
but you weren't so snarky about it just now.
I mean, one of my favorite songs on this album, there's an argument out in the ether that it could be up for Country Song of the Year.
Right.
And no argument out of me, and I
right.
hope it is, and I hope it wins. But there's also some. So one of my favorite things is kind of shoegazing,
Right.
which is those distortion guitars,
Right.
and you hear that kind of rippling throughout this album.
Yeah, so it gives them a very unique sound, and you'd have all these combinations, and you mix them in the soup, and you get something pretty unique.
Yep.
And then sometimes, I guess it'd be like, well, you have these ingredients on the side, and you taste the ingredient, and you get a full hit of country or a full hit of hard rock. So the songs on the album, some of them are blended, like in the soup, but some of them are kind of isolated. Elderberry Wine, I think, is a song that you were just alluding to. It's pretty much a straight up country song.
No argument. Yeah.
Right. It doesn't have the shoegaze, and it doesn't have all those elements to it. It just has, I think, mostly acoustic guitar. And
So Rolling Stone had it ranked last year as one of their top albums of the year.
yes.
I think it was ranked 8th.
Okay.
Pitchfork has a contender as your favorite Pitchfork.
They're very grumpy, and so I will say most of the time, if Pitchfork says it's good, it is, because they're pretty hard on most stuff.
And I think NPR summed up this album and probably summed up the genre that it would fall into best as or the description of the music best with their line about it's punk noise with country music's tear-stained sweetness. So it's it's her voice, really, I think, that carries.
She's got a great voice. Again, there are songs on this album that are straight up punk, and they occur a little bit later in the album. So you are getting this sort of folkiness, maybe a little of the shoegazer element of it to it, But then they just have a couple, like, letting it all out, that punk energy. They have some. The album itself, every song's kind of a little bit different, or they go into different.
Yeah.
They're not. It's definitely not a samey album. There's different
Correct.
sounds throughout the album.
So my wife and I were traveling somewhere, and I wanted to get her opinion on a couple of these songs. What she thought of, like, Elderberry Wine and Townies.
Yeah, and Elderberry Wine, by the way, I think would be considered, and Townies, the singles probably from the album. They're the ones that I've heard.
Yeah.
Separate from this album on the radio that I listen.
So I played for her the first, like, 3-4 songs just to get her opinion on it, what she thought, and she was amazed at her voice. So this is Carly Hartzman, who does vocals and guitars. That I don't even know how to characterize her voice, but she, like, never quite ends a word or a sentence. There's kind of a
fall off, like a little.
Yeah, she kind of raps.
Yeah, and is that sort of a country affectation, would you
But
say?
it,
It has
but it
that,
isn't the twang.
Yeah.
It's kind of the, she wraps around the notes. And
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it.
But it's distinctive.
It is
You would say
very,
it's
very distinctive.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a whiny sort of,
Okay.
but it's. I find it just amazing, and I might go to this concert with you and leave after the opening act, but maybe we'll see.
All right.
And then MJ
Lenderman, yeah.
I think is the musical kind of brains behind the
All right.
writing and whatever.
Okay.
My understanding. I could be totally wrong.
So it's kind of a singer-songwriter band, but the singer's not the songwriter.
right.
It's interesting.
Exactly. So not to kind of take too long beating up this album or talking about this album, showing my love here, but and I'm not going to do this blow by blow, but the second song is Townies.
Yes, terrific song.
Terrific song.
And sounds so different. Again, not just to
Yeah.
bolster my point from before, because you had turned me. I had heard Elderberry Wine already. I knew that song,
Yeah.
and then separately you had sent me Townies, and I
Right.
hadn't heard that song before, and it sounds so different. I thought it was from a different album. Like I
Right.
literally, I thought I was looking for like their earlier albums to find it, and didn't
Yeah.
realize it was even on the same album as Elderberry Wine.
So, right, and so you definitely see the shoegazer influence
Right.
here. This does not really sound like a country album. This sounds
No.
more like
Not there, it doesn't.
Yeah. And then, so that's Townies is the second song. If you want to dip your toe into it, those are two great songs to do, Elderberry Wine and Townies.
Yeah.
If you're looking to go a little bit deeper, Wound Up Here by Holding On, I think is a tremendous song. And the story really is about, kind of, we made it sort of, but not everybody came with us.
Right.
So it's a story about, the high school athlete who, things didn't work out all that, he was the star and
Yeah,
and the
maxed
hero.
out in high school.
Right.
Yeah.
And not everything worked out for him afterwards. And,
Right.
he ended up basically face down dead in a ditch.
Yeah.
But his jersey's hanging up in the
Right.
in the school,
So yeah, a little irony. The irony's not lost on the songwriter.
So,
here.
but not everybody makes it all the way through.
Yeah.
And we made up here by holding on. Elderberry Wine, fantastic song.
Yeah. Fish Pepsi, really interesting. Fish, like the band Fish.
Yeah.
PHISH, really
Yeah.
thoughtful lyrics. Just really. I
Yeah.
don't know. You would have to. I don't have a specific lyric to pull from it, but it there's a lot there. It's just a very well written song.
It's kind of a story about seeing an old friend again,
Yeah.
and kind of remembering times and experiences you had with them. The Fish Pepsi actually comes from going to a Fish concert. And
Which I think they said they regretted.
right, yeah, and
Doing
then-
two things that they regretted. One of them was a Fish concert.
Fish concert, and then having turned a Pepsi can into a bong and smoking pot out of the Pepsi can. So it's a good song. It's one of those you need to really listen to it. And then the only other two I'll really kind of talk about is Pick Up That Knife. I think is a fantastic song. Another very hard rocky kind of shoegazer. You hear all of them together, really at the top of their game in that one. Followed by Wasp, which is just crazy heavy.
Yeah, that's like the big punk, like just punk.
That is
straight up
totally
punk song.
Straight up, yes, 100%. And then song 11 is one of your favorite topics in music.
Oh yeah, Carolina Murder Suicide, a nice country death song.
You love your
I do
death
like my
songs.
country death songs.
We do have to do a 45 on.
I think we should. It's
death
a
songs.
legit topic. It's part of the
I
core.
got-
It's the core of American music.
Yeah,
you
I got
know.
a few bands I can send
Oh,
over that.
definitely.
I like a good country death song.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my take on it. I think it clearly to me is one of the best songs of
albums.
Albums of 2025.
Yeah. Yeah, it rightfully appears on a lot of lists. It's and there's a lot of good songs on it. Right, it's not like it has 2 or 3.
So what I've heard discussions on shows bigger than ours.
Really, there are shows.
there are
shows bigger
about the possibility of this album ending up on like best country music.
Oh yeah,
song
because the Grammys are kind of coming up.
Yeah, and what do you?
Well, okay. Well, first of all, my thought on it is. Country, it's a big category. All right, it's gotten to be a big category, and I think I kind of prefer that it break off into this sort of Americana style of music. But even Americana is huge.
Yeah. But that's good.
And I delineate again between like the Nashville sound that is so repetitive and so just every song comes out the same, and it's like if you want to talk about corporate music. The Nashville country music is as corporate as it gets, and they are so good at doing what they do. I have to say, like, in fairness, people have done this for years. Okay, in terms of just being let's just go to work and write some hit songs.
Sure.
And make up, and that's what you are. You're a professional songwriter. You're professional, but it to me it lacks as much as the tunes can be catchy, and I might catch myself tapping my toe to them once in a while. They're irresistible. They're like professionally. We are gonna hook you with this song. They lack the charm and introspectiveness typically, and the thoughtfulness of this Americana style, which is to me a little purer, and also maybe purer of heart perhaps, but also all these different sounds that go with it. So, this band was compared to Drive-By Truckers, and I don't know if they ever got a country award Grammy. So I think that it's one of the flaws of the Grammys in particular. As I talked about earlier, it's kind of the flaws of best of lists and ranking albums, and it's trying to fit this band into a category, and do they really fit or don't they fit? Do I think they're country? I think Elderberry Wine is very much fits into a country genre. Easily fits into country music. On the whole, I'm not sure the album does, because it just has it's too diverse. And if you are trying to put it into a category, I would have a hard time. As much as I like the album. So I could see Elderberry Wine being a song of the year.
Where would you put what category would you put Drive-By Truckers?
Well, I think we said they were country punk or alt punk. Right, alt country punk.
Because there is definitely kind of that southern rock sort of vibe to them too.
Well, and for sure, there's a country sound to it. There absolutely is. But they also have the hard guitars, and I think one of the things when you talk about this band or Drive-By Truckers or even the Killers, I would bring into that, although they weren't punky, but the album that we did by them is you're looking at sort of the underbelly of small town America and sort of the imperfections of small town America, and I think
that Americana title,
that Americana thing is like everything just isn't.
Right.
Unicorns and rainbows.
Sure.
And even though we live in a quiet town or a small town, or we have these, there's issues that happen there as well. And these bands tend to dive into those issues a little bit more than trucks and guns.
With you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we leave that there? I think that's a good. Again, that's the album was Bleeds by the band Wednesday. I think it's just terrific.
Yep.
And we're going to now flip live in front of everyone. We're going to flip this over to side 4 and start wrapping the show up. Our first step on side 4 is to rank our albums. So we have 10 by Pearl Jam now goes into this amazing list of 34 albums. And the part that the Maestro loves the most is where he gets to rank it and tell us of his ranking.
No, it's the part I hate. I I don't, because again, as I've already said several times, lists are stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. Jane's Addiction's another good.
Well, so that's right. So as I'm looking at my list and hating it more and more, and by the way, all these albums are albums that we've done on the show. We're just ranking albums that we've talked about already. So I do have to say Sgt. Pepper resides at number 1 and Moondance at number 2. But then trying to plug in Pearl Jam 10 into this list, I think they're a landmark album. I think they're in that grungy style, right? I have, and then we did bring in Jane's Addiction earlier. I have Nothing Shocking Jane's Addiction at 12. And then, so my initial thing was, well, this is a bigger album than Nothing Shocking. I actually had Pearl Jam 10 at 11 originally. And I was going to put it at 10 just to be a 10. Just for 1 week, it could be 10
at 10.
10 at 10.
Yeah.
But then I really debated, is this to my immature self, my immature critical self, I think I like the Nothing Shocking album better than the 10 album. I think the Nothing Shocking album is deeper. It has more, it doesn't have as many skips on it.
Right.
Now 10 has bigger songs, like the 3-4 songs on it that are massively big.
Yep.
And it's an influential album for sure. But then again, Jane's Addiction sort of predated this album.
Right.
So I don't know what I find, and you may disagree. You probably do. So I ended up keeping Nothing Shocking at 12 and slid Pearl Jam down to 17. And I put it behind Let It Bleed and ahead of The Sunset Tree by the Mountain Goats.
So very squishy right there in the middle of the pack.
It is. It's a terrific album.
Dead in the middle.
Yeah.
17 of 34.
That is right in the middle. I didn't even think of that. But it is. And again, the 34 albums that we've talked about are all incredible albums.
Well, this is a tough one because there's like 4 absolute giant monsters.
Right.
And then probably 4 songs that should be left to the,
Yeah, they could have been easily replaced by a couple other songs.
Anything.
Right.
Anything.
Yeah. So I agree.
I
So
agree.
It does make it tough to rank.
It does. Yeah. It's why you're the maestro. This is where the siren of sound does your sirening.
Well, I've done it.
Yeah. All right.
I've spoken.
Okay, so you got it right there in the middle of the pack at 17. Yeah, we'll have to wait for episode 40 to see where the show puts it.
Can't wait.
Well, officially, the show's ranking.
Yeah.
Get together with all the production
Are you going
team
to, have you got I'm just wondering if you have a puppet yet, like a sock puppet or a marionette. What direction?
Pops up behind you.
What will you go with for the show?
We'll have to get Chauncey.
Or at least a voice. I think you should start working on a voice.
Get Chauncey working on something.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Somebody kind of a peer over.
Yeah.
Dr. Bunsen Honeydew or a Beaker over
there
here.
You go.
Yeah. All right. So that's the show ranking. For our next show, we're going to look at Bob Marley dipping his toe into jazz with kidding. But the seminal album from 1977, Bob Marley's Exodus. So that should be a fascinating thing. We're going to continue our dive into our favorite albums of 2025, apparently, with Straight Line Was a Lie by the band The Beths. A lot of similarities between The Beths and the band Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm not going to, I don't want to tip anything off, but I will say I like this album a lot.
Yeah, it's probably pretty easy to confuse the two. All right. We'd like to thank our production team from MKE Films and Chauncey there from Smidge Films, our PR team from LR Media, and, of course, our sponsors, Deeper Connections Counseling. You're worth it. Go talk to people. And Diane Blackburn from Baird & Warner, Realtor. With that, I am Fat Guy 1.
Fat Guy 2.
We'll see you next time. Southern rock. I mean,
No, it's not country at all.
no, it is. It's definitely. And if you weren't in such a mood, we would have some good conversation about it. But apparently, we're going to get attitude. Again, reflecting our immaturity.
Uh-huh.
All right.